is not complete yet. We did get some progress on that, but not quite where I was hoping. Hopefully you can hear me just fine. You know, it's just, it's one of these things where it's, stuff just didn't work out as well as we had hoped, but honestly, I'm still figuring stuff out, and it's gonna be a bit of a journey, but you know, that's all good. You know, because the G5 Swap car, I knew there was gonna be some difficulty doing it. I knew that. I knew it wasn't just gonna be so straightforward that you just bolt everything together, it's all gonna work like candy, like just, you know, like Legos. Like, no, that's not how this is gonna go. So, yeah, apologies for the shaking hand, there's nothing I can do about that. Hopefully, let's see. Yeah, I'm just waiting for somebody to type so that I know, because can you all hear me? Can somebody just type in the chat to see if they can hear me? Because I'm using a new Bluetooth setup in, well, it's not even my car. And I just want to make sure that's all working. Because, yeah, and this actually might be not better sound per se, but you're going to hear me much more than the car, because it's a loud car that I'm borrowing. Because this is actually an 82 Mercury Capri that I'm in. Not any of my Mustangs. Awesome, thank you so much. So, yeah, anyways, so if you don't know, I am currently swapping my 81 Mustang that has the 200 inline sticks from a C4 automatic to a T5 manual. Now, I acquired some parts a little bit ago to do this easier, and I had lost one of those parts, which is the clutch fork, because I know I have it, I don't know where it is. I need to locate it. There's a guy in California that I can get a clutch fork off of, but I prefer to save my money and not get that. And like there's the bell housing tip, for example, that I still need to find, which I found one on CJ Pony Parts. It's money. Again, a lot of this is money I don't have to do this swap. Even like driving down and whatever else here, I'm gonna need to fill this thing up with gas, I think. I don't know, the gas gauge lies on this thing, so I don't really know 100% where it's at properly. Because I know it's not at just over half a tank with only 120 kilometers on it. No, it's this tank doesn't fill up properly. But anyway, so like I was mentioning with the T5 swap, there's a lot of integration stuff that you have to deal with. So like my adapter plate, for example, it needs specific countersunk bolts, which have proven harder to find than I initially would have thought. Because you think, oh yeah, countersunk bolts, anywhere should have those. Well, it turns out, no. I also need to find different bolts for the T5. Specifically, not the bolts that actually bolt to the block, but that bolts the belt housing to the transmission. I don't need the heats on anymore. It's interesting how much attention this car gets, which I mean, I'm not shocked by it. You look at the car, it's a sweet car and everything. I like it. It's not mine, I wish it was. But this thing is quite unique. But, and also like there's going to be some integration issues when it comes to the clutch assembly, because the bell house that I have is off of a 66 Mustang. Now, same bolt pattern that I need and everything. However, that actually requires a Z-bar setup, but we're going to bypass that by, I think, instead of having the cable rigidly mounted, we're just going to have the entire cable be moving. So like not just the inner cable, but the outer cable as well. That's all going to move as one piece, which is going to compensate for it being a cable instead of a Z-bar setup. So that might work for us. Hopefully it does. Again, there might be a couple of, we might have to build our own linkage or something like that. So, but unfortunately, that whole stuff is on hold because I'm going to be back home for the better part of a month because I have to take care of my cats. So, you know, and it was a fun time with my buddy Keith. We had just such a great time. You know, we cruised around for a bit in Edmonton, whatever else, and it was so much fun. I always enjoy visiting with him whenever I can. And we actually hang out quite a bit, even though there's like 2.5 hours between us. And what's kind of nice is, like, his house has been working on. There's only one bed in the house, and he's been staying at his parents' place. Well, I got the entire house to myself, but there was no bathrooms in the house, and that was fun. Figuring that out. Basically, I just had to go to the parents' house to go to the bathroom every night. So, a little annoying, but it is what it is, you know? If I was a guy, wouldn't need to worry about that as much. Could just go out in nature, but fortunately, I don't have that luxury. So, yeah, it's just one of those deals where, you know, this whole thing has been very interesting. There was some stress involved about, will I need to, like, shorten the drive shaft or whatever else? And I don't actually think so. Because just looking at the lengths and whatever else, like, it turns out that the length, like, a T5 manual is not as long of a tranny as a C4 automatic. So that's good. Although we definitely have, like, it'd be for sure be able to do it if I didn't have the 8.8 rear end in that car. The 7.5 rear end is not as, it gives you more leeway when it comes to actually doing that whole, like, for the drive shaft, I should say. Okay, I don't need that there anymore. There we go. Let's do that. Out of my way. Accelerate. But yeah, so that's basically what's going on right now. And, you know, it's just, acquiring parts is always going to be the challenge when you're doing something that is oddball, right? Like, sometimes you can make your own parts or whatever else, but for a lot of the stuff, I don't have the proper facilities to make the stuff I need. So, because, like, Keith's shop, well, it's not a well-equipped shop. He's got a decent amount of stuff, but it's not, like, can't do any machining there. Can't, you know, do much for fabrication in that shop. So, you do a little bit. Nothing wrong with, like, grinders, whatever else. However, doing more precise things, no. So, like, and now, we have, basically there's two options on this whole deal. I can either keep pursuing what I'm pursuing with that 200 inline 6, or I can go get a 250 inline 6 and drop that in and use all V8 stuff and have no integration issues whatsoever, right? So, I don't know yet. I still think I'm going to pursue the 200 just because it's a good motor. I already know that. There is zero issues when it comes to that engine, although it's actually currently, heater core needs to be replaced, but I actually have a heater core for it. I just didn't get that done when I was up there. And there's actually an oil leak coming from the pan gasket on the back, so I'll need to address that as well. But other than that, there's no issues with that engine whatsoever. It's a nice, healthy motor, and, you know, it's got a nice double roller timing chain in there, whatever else, so I prefer to keep that engine in that car if I can. But it'd be much easier if I went with a 250, to be honest. Because, yeah, like, the 250s have what they call a 3/4 of small block Ford bell housing pattern. Now, when I say 3/4 of small block Ford, if the bottom 4 bolts that are the same, the top 2 are different. So there is that to contend with. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened to the connection. Not anything I can do about that. And just driving on the QE2, for some reason I lost connection there for a little bit. That's so weird, but that happens, right? What can you do? But yeah, like I mentioned, so like I'm trying to weigh out the pros and cons of just swapping to a 250. Because I already have the clutch kit, I already have the adapter, I've already spent all of this money on this stuff. Now I could resell it, this stuff, and, you know, fund putting a 250 in the car. I could do that. But I don't know, right? The 200 is just the way I think I want to go more. But just because, like, I know with a 250 is a tad bit taller, and there's already no room under the hood of that Fox body to begin with. I might have to cut a hole in the hood, which I'm not opposed to doing that, but considering I have that pace car scoop on there anyway, so whatever holes I have to cut in the hood, it'd be covered up anyways, but I don't know. We'll see. Like, because I did have other thoughts of, like, you know, if I just want to do a full Capri swap on it, being like Capri front clip, Capri rear quarter sort of thing. I've thought about it. I'm not sure if I'm going to do it yet or not. We shall see. You know, and I could honestly go to even Capri taillights as well if I did that. And yeah. I don't know yet. We shall see. And I thought about doing something a little different with this car even at one point. Actually going, instead of the 79 to 82 Capri back end, going 83 to 86 with the taillights and stuff and the bumper cover. Because I've never seen that swap done on a Mustang ever. And, you know, it's a little more unique, and I don't mind the look of it, actually. I prefer the look of the 81 to, or the 79 to 82, but, you know. And hey, there's that stupid sign. Like, what's so funny, because, okay, if you go on the QE2, and it's about, I don't know, 30 kilometers south of Edmonton. If you pay attention to billboards on the right side going southbound, you'll actually find a billboard for the Flat Earth Canada. It's hilarious to find that. Because, you know, it's like, I don't understand the mentality of the Flat Earth and whatever else, and like, you'd think it's a joke, but some people are actually like serious about it, and yeah, it's just too funny, right? So, yeah, I just don't know. But, yeah, well, hopefully I can get, you know, some interaction with the chat here. I did not mention that I was going live at all, so I might not get much here. Like, basically, if I get towards, I don't even know where I'll stop, to be honest, like, if there's no interaction in the chat. Because there's only so much tap dancing I can do, personally. Because I kind of already mentioned what I wanted to say before, so, why are you pressing your brake, bud? What are you doing? Accelerate, you dumbass. Jesus. That's an easy way to cause an accident. Slam your brakes on the highway as you are trying to merge in your lane. Like, buddy, just hammer the gas. Oh my god. Like, old woman that if you're doing stuff like that, you probably shouldn't be driving. You shouldn't be. Although, actually, I will mention something that happened today with this car. So, I was going to Mopac to see if I could find some parts for T5 swap, and they didn't have what I needed, so whatever. But as I'm actually trying to get in there, because it's kind of a convoluted way to try and get in there, and I didn't realize that at the time, because Google Maps did not say to do that. They said, oh yeah, I can just turn off the main street and get in there, which you can't. But anyways, so this is when I left Mopac, I think. I'm trying to merge onto the main sort of street, and in front of Mopac, and the problem is that there's a lot of traffic at the time, right? So, I'm trying to find. Finally, I see an opening, so I go for the opening, and all of a sudden, oh, look at that! So a charger, not a brand new charger. This was probably 2007-ish charger. It was red. He decides to not use a signal light and merge into the lane that I'm going into, but he did it in the middle of the intersection, swapping lanes. So I start to go, he does that, nearly hits me. He honks at me. I'm like, buddy, you're the one that didn't use your signal lights and merged in an intersection. You're not supposed to do that, or swap lanes in an intersection. That's illegal to do here. So, and illegal to do in most places. So, yeah, it's one of those things where people really need to pay attention to what they're doing and let other people know, because they invented signal lights for a reason. The signal lights aren't for signal lights aren't for the driver, they're for anybody else on the road, for you to show what you're doing, right? So, please, use your signal lights when you can, or every single time you can, just so that stuff like that doesn't happen. I mean, that is since I've been here, that's the fourth accident I've nearly had, and it's not in my car. That's the worst part of it, because I would have been an absolute wreck had I actually crashed this car, because again, it's not mine, and even if it was mine, I'd still be distraught about it. So I don't know, just Edmonton drivers, it's a special breed, very special breed. I don't have near this many issues in Calgary, and Calgary actually has more population, so you'd think there'd be worse drivers, but no, I think that can't goes to Edmonton, to be honest. Hey Shane, how's it going? I was hoping you'd see the live, because you're the one that usually chats in the live all the time. And sorry, I didn't let you know, I was already on the highway as I was thinking about doing it, so. But yeah, I left Edmonton a little bit ago. I'm, as you can tell, not in my car. This is the Capri. This is my buddy's Capri, and we actually did a bunch of work to this thing the other day. This thing has an RS hood scoop, and it's actually got a different hatch on it now too. Plus it also has a Bluetooth stereo, which is why I might sound a little weird, because the mic on this Bluetooth is not of high quality. So, yeah, it's just one of those things. Oh, I'm good. I am definitely good. Thanks, Carl. How are you doing? I am just cruising down the highway here and having a good time, Trying to enjoy the drive, even though it's such a boring, mundane drive. Oh my god. I don't like how boring the QE2 is. But it's the quickest way. It's not the most fuel efficient way though, also that. Not that I'm in a hurry, but I'd like to be able to get home before it's dark, just because of wildlife along the 27 highway can get really bad. So against the convertible, which is the faster car currently, you'd still win. Unless your motor wagon is dead, which in that case I'll take that pink slip gladly. But it's starting to get a little chillier here too, I will admit. But we are getting to that time of year. It's amazing. We're almost to Halloween and there's still no snow up here yet. That blows my mind. Because usually Edmonton would have had their first snow well, earlier we get our first snow, because Sundry's had snow on the ground for a couple of weeks now. But, you know, like, that's why I put the winter tires on this car, just in case. These are my winter tires on this. Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, like, if it stays this way, I might be able just to drive my convertible around for a while. That'd be cool. Because I thought I would have had to park the convertible right away here, but maybe not, you know? Okay. I wish this thing had cruise control, you know? What does? Like, if you're talking about this car, I mean, it's got a killer exhaust note on it, I will admit. Like, if I just, okay, slow down a little bit and put it in the second. Like, I love the sound this thing makes. But, hey, Paul, how's it going? Definitely appreciate you coming out. See, like, cruise control is nice for when I love driving the convertible. See, I did do that last, like, the first year I owned that thing, I actually did drive it a bit through the winter, with the top down on warmer days in, like, December and stuff like that. I actually did have the top down, and I did bundle up. It was fantastic. The looks you got was just fantastic. You know, like, people would look at you and go, what the hell is she doing? But, I mean, now that I'm driving this, which is, again, not my car, this happens to be a Mercury Capri, which is interesting because, like, you hear that exhaust note, all that is a couple of glass packs underneath this car with dual exhaust. That's it. I think this thing still has the cats in it, too. Or, at the very least, if they're... I can't remember if the cats are still in this or if they're hollowed out. Can't remember for sure. But as for, like, the cruise control comment there, cruise control is nice if you're just on a boring, mundane road with nothing. If it's just a straight stretch of road, just turn on the cruise control and it's just kind of nice that way. Which actually, speaking of cruise control, I do have a cruise control module back here for my convertible to reinstate that, so that'll be cool. And hi Sally, I definitely appreciate you coming out to the live. Wow, I got 8 viewers, that's fantastic. You know, and like, let's see. That's fair. Yeah, I could get that, especially up there. Cause Rocky gets worse, like, weather than we do in Sundry, so I understand that. Which I didn't realize you were actually in Rocky, that's kind of cool. And that's basically about an hour from where I am in Sundry. But yeah, so like, something that I mentioned earlier in the stream when there was like nobody here is how the T5 swap is going. So there's been some issues tracking down parts. And those issues have come across of just basically like, it's stuff that isn't stocked. So like, I lost my clutch fork. I have no idea where it went. I am so confused of what happened to that. You know, hopefully I'll find it, because if not, then that payment will go through, and then I'll have to pay for that. And thanks, yeah. I love these little aviators. Honestly, I love the look of aviators. Although they need to be sized. Yeah. Oh, exactly. So like, what I'm dealing with on the T5, it's just locating parts. That's all we're currently dealing with. Because, well, for example, stupid things like countersunk bolts, I can't seem to find. You'd think that'd be stupid easy, but nope. For the adapter plate. So that really sucks, but you know, it is what it is. So I'll just need to locate those. I need to find my clutch fork, and then as well, I need to find some dowel pins for the belt housing actually too. That would be amazing to find. And actually, I'm going to really quick here. There we go. God, that's a hard reach back there. So yeah, basically just stuff like that. And then also, because this is a 66 bell housing and that I'm having to use, so the 66 bell housing uses a Z-bar setup, which we're not doing a Z-bar. We're doing a clutch cable to it. So basically how that's gonna go is, Keith had this idea, and actually it makes sense, because with a Z-bar, you have a bunch of moving components. We want to eliminate that and just use a cable. However, he figured out that should be able to use just the cable to make it work, and well, here's the call. They are specific to the inline 6, so 302 ones and stuff like that are too big. So, because what I actually have to do is, the 200 inline 6, it's interesting. Mine has a dual pattern block, and something that I'm learning about that is that the automatics and manuals technically have different patterns for the bell housing, right? So, I need to move the 2 dowel pins. They actually have in place so that you can move these to different spots, but the problem is we kind of had to cut them to get them out, so while we could reuse them, I prefer to get new just so that there's no issues whatsoever, right? And it's better safe than sorry. But what I was talking about with that clutch cable, though, is because the clutch cable's in place currently, and just there's no transmission or bell housing currently attached. So what we are having to do, though, is instead of having the clutch cable rigidly mounted, the entire cable is going to move back and forth. See, actually, the one thing is, if I was going to swap it, I wouldn't go V8. And the only reason why, it's just, I like the inline 6. And if I was going to swap it, I'd go to a 250. Because the 250 is the easiest one to do a T5 swap on. You've got the low mount starter on it, and it's basically a small block Ford pattern. Well, I should say the bottom 4 bolts are small block Ford. And you can use a V8, like a 302 flywheel, 302 clutch, 302 starter, right? And you don't have to worry about any of this integration crap that I'm currently dealing with. The only thing that you have to do, now this is not a big deal, but it is something that you should do anyways, is the top 2 bolts on the 250 to a small block Ford do not line up. There we go. Sorry about that. I don't know why the connection dipped. Like, that's the easiest thing to do. Now, alternatively, I'm trying to think. Like, alternatively, you could just end up doing the, just having the 4, and you would be fine with that, but it's always nice to have them all just so that everything is aligned properly, right? Now, it would technically be aligned properly if you have the bolts that are by the dowel pin, right? However, better safe than sorry. There we go. That's better. But, yeah, like, honestly, because it's just a pain in the ass. But, like, the 250, I've contemplated it. I can use all of the stuff that I have on my 200 currently on that 250, and that way I didn't waste my money, right? Because otherwise, like that valve cover, for example, that was a pretty penny. The double roller timing chain in that motor that I have, like honestly, if I was going to swap to a 250, I just pull that timing chain out and put it in the 250, because it does not have that many miles on it, and that's a very expensive timing chain. So I don't want to just go get another one, right? So there's stuff like that, you know, that the 250 would be just honestly better for. And like I said, for the integration stuff, it wouldn't be near as bad. But you know, it costs money to be weird. It just does. Pour it out 5 inches. See now, and something that like I thought about, and I don't know if there's enough room or not, because if we can't locate these dowel pins, I don't know if we can actually drill everything out to accept a bigger dowel pin, and it won't cause issues with cracking or anything like that, because, you know, like, I can find small block Ford dowel pins, no problem, that's pretty easy to do. I can find small block Chevy dowel pins, but those are even bigger than small block Ford ones. You know, and just, yeah, I don't know exactly what we can do when it comes to that. End up swapping into a 250. I don't know yet. And yeah, because like basically, with a 250 compared to a 200 of my sort of series with the large log head and everything, they're basically identical motors. There's just a couple of minor differences. Like the crank is different in the 250, obviously. The bore is a little different. And see now, I don't have one of the pins with me, unfortunately. I left them there. And I didn't even take pictures of them. So, basically, like, and could those dowel pins be made? Sure, they could. I just don't have the facilities to make the pins myself, right? Because I would want, like, you know, if I had access to a CNC machine, sure, I could make those pins easily, but I don't have access to one. So, and actually, I'm passing the point where Milo broke down for the first time on the highway, which is right at that guardrail there. I'll always remember that, and I was live on TikTok at the time too. Which by now, I don't go live on TikTok anymore, you know, when I'm going down the highway. I go live on YouTube, because when I'm live on YouTube, the cars never break down. Fun times. Oh yeah, like I mean, and it's finding the right bar shock, whatever else too. But he doesn't have a drill press at all. He just has, like, his shop is very, very basic. He's got a vise, he's got a grinder, he's got a bench grinder, he's got a tire machine and balancer. That's it. He's got a welder too, but and he's got a cutting torch. He doesn't really have much else. So, you know, it's not a fully was, I'd be fabricating so much. But, yeah, but unfortunately, I'm on my way home for at least a couple of weeks. Because my dad's going hunting and I need to take care of the cats. So, that's what's going on there. And it's disappointing, but, you know, it is what it is. It'll be nice to see my boys again. It's been a little bit. So, yeah. But it should be, you know, should be a fun time. I definitely don't need these sunglasses anymore. It's starting to get a little darker out here, which, unfortunately, I want to try and beat it getting dark, but I don't think I'll be doing that. It'll just be, it'll be dark by the time I get to the 27 highway, which I was hoping not, but, it is what it is, right? What can you do? But, yeah, like, in this thing, because last night, me and Keith actually swapped the rear hatch on this thing, because there was not much wrong with the old hatch, to be honest, but this one has the integrated spoiler from the Mustang GT, so it just looks better, and he just wanted that on there, so it's like, okay, fine, I helped him out with that. And it now has an RS hood scoop on it, too. So, plus it's got a Bluetooth stereo, which is what I'm talking to you guys through now. And that's why the sound might be a little weird, because it's a Bluetooth mic that it's not the greatest quality mic, but it works, so. Yeah, it's pretty good, and I mean, like, and the sound of this car, I love the sound this thing makes, because it's interesting. This thing has a godless wonder. It's got the 255 V8 in it, and I found out, actually, his 86 3.8 car with the CFI system is the exact same speed as this, which is too funny. Now, that one has, I think that has a C5 in it. This has a C4. And this thing probably has 273 gears in the back as well. And 255's only made 120 horsepower. Like, basically a 3.8 V6 makes about the same amount of power as this thing does, at least the early ones. So, yeah, it is quite sad. Very sad time in Ford's history. Now, it's weird because this is a 1982, and it happens to have the 255. Now, I always thought that the 255 was not made in 82, period. But I guess the 302 was a mid-year thing, potentially, because I don't know that. I'm just going off of what I think on this. I could be wrong, though. So a 255 is a de-stroked and has worse heads and smaller pistons than the 302. But it's based off of 302, it's not based off of a 260. From 1980 to 1982, the 255 was the only V8 available in the Mustang. Although the 302 did come back out in 82 with 140 horsepower. It wasn't really a powerhouse. But, you know, or actually it may have been 152 or something like that. I can't remember. But it was just an emissions engine, and it's just, there's nothing good about this engine. And this is the one that has the oil pressure weird thing. And it is, when that oil pressure does go down, it actually is doing that. And it's not worth screwing around and putting a new oil pump in the car when, as soon as he pulls this motor, he's just going to put a 302 in this thing anyways. And I don't know, he might do a T5 swap on this one too. Because he's got a couple 302s, like, he's got like 4 or 5 of them lying around. They're just waiting to be swapped into something. So, yeah. I might have to stop and top up for gas, because I don't know exactly where I'm at when it comes to my fuel right now. Because this thing lies. So, I do not want to be in that lane. There we go. But yeah, literally, if you look into the 255, only came with 2-barrel carbs, nothing 4-barrel. They were just an emissions engine, very choked down, and just dreadful, right? You know, when a 3.8 V6, and now that is a notchback, so it is a little lighter, but it's the 86, which has more sound deadening and all that stuff, and is a little better quality than these early ones. Well, right? But that is sad. It still is sad when a 3.8 from the same sort of era will outrun the VA. It's just, yeah, pretty sad. But even like, because yeah, like the 3.8 CFI, that's the motor that Milo had when I got her off of Keith. And terrible injection system, like it acts like a carburetor, and it's just dreadful. But you know, it is what it is. Oh, you slow down to 100 for here. Okay. There is construction, so I'm not going to speed through the destruction zone. But yeah. And now, at least driving this one over driving the convertible, or driving the convertible, driving his other 86, because I drove his 86 back to Sundry once, and it was just kind of awful, because like, the ride quality is fine and whatever else like that, but he had these big 17s, and they caught every single little, like, any of the bigger ruts in the road, whatever else like that, would just throw the car completely. And it was awful. You know, when it came to that, everything else was fine on it. You know, had a nice stereo and whatever else, but, and the thing's not really rusty, like, it's actually in good shape. It's actually very rare to find an 86, 85 or 86 notchback, so, yeah. You know, and his is actually very clean. Like, it doesn't really have much of rust. It just has a 3.8 V6, which he's just waiting to swap that for a 302. And, oh, there's a Fox body going by right there. Right there. That was an Arrow notchback. I just love the sound this thing makes. Although, after a while on the highway, it does kind of just drone into your head and gives you a headache. It's really annoying, but it's it's fun. It's fun. And actually, I will stop in Red Deer to top up fuel, just in case, because this thing does not get good fuel economy. This thing gets about 19 miles per gallon, which isn't horrible, but for what it is, it should be getting a lot better than that. Put it this way, my V8, like, with the top down, gets 23. So, which oddly enough is about what Stitch is getting right now. But, yeah, the 856 though, like, I'm honestly, like, because I know the stuff I have will work, but I don't know, we'll see. I might swap it to 250, but that'll just require more work that I don't really want to do, but it would be advantageous to do because integration's easier, also make a little more power out of it, all that different stuff. Might have to clearance the hood though, because the 250 to 200, the 250 is slightly taller, and there's not a lot of room under the hood of a Fox body, so it's kind of interesting that, like, wide and length, oh yeah, you can fit a lot, but height-wise, not so much, because on my on Stitch, I had this Edelbrock air cleaner, which is now on Lilo currently, and it had their stupid little logo for the wing nut, right? But that raised italic B, or that italic E, I should say, for the Edelbrock logo, well, it turns out that was actually hitting the hood. And I didn't realize it until after a while, and then I look at it and go, oh, there's an indent in the hood with that freaking E in it. So I got rid of that and put a proper wing nut on there. And then now it has a different air cleaner altogether, so don't have to worry about that. But yeah, like literally, there is like no room under the hood of those things. So might have to cut a hole in the hood, which I'm not opposed to doing, especially with the hood scoop that I have. It's fine because it covers up basically anywhere you'd be cutting, so it's kind of nice, right? So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what I come up with, because actually, if you watch my last Junkyard Tour video that I released, there is a thing on. Well, there was a Maverick with a 250 in the junkyard there. Now, it's hard to say if it's a good motor or not. I have no idea on that. I didn't even try to turn it over or anything. I just saw it in there. Because, you know, it could be really bad. Who knows? Get a bug catcher off eBay. See, I'm not doing that, no. I don't want that on the car because it wouldn't look right, you know? And for me, like, those bug catchers look the best when it's attached to a supercharger. You know, with the butterflies and everything. But that's not something I want to do. Now, I have a pace car scoop. So literally, if I cut a hole, it's not a big deal. It would just be underneath the scoop that way. And where that indentation currently is would still be underneath the scoop, so it's not a big deal. And it's not like we'd have to... No, actually, I really don't. 100%, I do not. Because I love the look it has, the pace car scoop. I don't really want to get rid of that. So, now, if I didn't have the pace car scoop, different story. It might look better, but it would just look ugly with that. Although, personally, the scoop that I really want is the one that's on this car currently. Because being a Capri, and because the Mustang GT had a good looking scoop, don't get me wrong. It looks fine. I don't have any gripes with it, whatever else like that, but this is the best looking scoop that they ever put on a Fox body, period, I find. I'll show it to you actually when I stop, because I'm going to stop for gas in Red Deer, which is about 20k away or so. I'll show you a little bit of a walk around in this car too, which there will be a video coming out on this car. I'll probably film it in the next few days and post it. So, you know, because, yeah, it's a cool car. And it's fairly clean too. It's like, and it's too bad I didn't have a proper headliner in it, because it just got the cardboard. That's it. There's no fabric. But, you know, even though these are my tires on the car, I'm not going to burn them out, because these are my winter tires. I kind of need these tires. And that burnout hurt the caliper. Doesn't have a caliper. That burnout actually did hurt the torque converter. So I found that out. Because the torque converter, that's what was slipping. You know, I think the transmission's fine, although the fluid that came out of the transmission wasn't pretty, but I don't think it damaged anything internally to the transmission. It was the converter. Because, and the only reason why I know it was the converter, okay, so 4 hours after it was running, it was on the lift, and we're feeling, okay, like, you feel the oil pad, that's nice and cool at this point, right? You feel the transmission pad, that's nice and cool too. You touch that catalytic converter, and it was still quite warm. So I was like, oh yeah, that converter is done. So yeah. And you know, like, this isn't my car. I don't want to break it. Like, don't get me wrong, if I broke the motor, he wouldn't care. He would just swap it to 302. But then he'd have to come get his car, and I'd be driving that convertible the entire time, which has horrible heat and bad window seals. You're just fighting a bunch in that car. But yeah, because right now, actually, I am just passing the Black Falls exit, and I'll be pulling into Red Deer here soon. Nope, we do not. Honestly, even for inspections too, they don't care if you have a like just a safety inspection, whatever else. And even out of province doesn't care either. Hey, there is Sean Novitaz, which I'm not sure if I'll be on the live stream tonight. We'll see. There is I'll try, but there is a hockey game on at 8 o'clock as well. So again, I'll be gone for, you know, an hour, like after an hour, so we'll see. Well, have fun with that. Yeah, I have been actually. You know, I'm finally going home, which it's been, I haven't been home for a while, so it'll be nice to be back home again. Even though we had a lot of adventures and fun up in Edmonton, but it'll be good to be home again. So, yeah. And now the one thing is actually something, I might be able to, like, when I'm borrowing this car, oh? Where are you off to? Driving the car. Oh, jeez. Yeah, that is not quite as fun, but you know, it is what it is. Yeah, like I said, I'll try and be on, but I don't know, because I'm gonna be like, because I gotta stop at Red Deer here, like, which is just up ahead, and fill up for gas. Then I need to stop at Olds to pick up some groceries, and then I'll be home, which I don't even know if I'll be home for 7 o'clock yet. I have no idea. So, yeah. Like, I could probably make it home on this tank of gas. It's just, I prefer to fill up here so I'm not spending all my money. Because I need to actually check what my bank account's looking like right now, because it might not be the prettiest. Yeah. So, because again, as you can tell, I'm not in Stitch. I am in the Capri. So, the T5 is not in the car yet. It's so close though. Just need a couple more parts, then it'll be it. We didn't get a lot done though on that car, to be honest. But the car's getting a bunch of upgrades too. Because actually, I found a trunk lid for the car. So a non-rusty trunk lid, which is a unicorn to find. So, well, it's finding parts. So, basically, like, I could potentially reuse the bell housing dowel pins, but we had to cut them a little bit. So, there's that. And I need to find some countersunk bolts for the adapter plate. And I need the clutch fork, which I have the clutch fork somewhere. I just need to find it. So, although I found a guy and I I already paid him, but hopefully he hasn't sent that out yet, because I might just check and then see if I can find that, and then reissue the payment later if I go through with that. So, with the guy. Other than that, we're pretty much there. Of being able to get the thing, as soon as I have those parts, it should be a running, driving car within 2 days after that. So, well, I should say, once I have those parts running and driving. Also, bell housing tin for between the transmission and the bell housing. Or, sorry, not the transmission, but I meant to say the bell housing and the block. I don't have one of those. So, CJ Body Parts has one, but I can't really afford it right now. I need to get some more money in so I can do that. All the fun stuff that way. Making spaghetti. Nice. Gotta love wiring. You know, we actually wired in a stereo into this car, and that's actually, you're hearing me through a Bluetooth thing. Which, it's, you know, it's okay. Like, the mic isn't the greatest, but it works. And at least, if I, like, having phone calls and stuff like that on the highway, no big deal in this thing now. So, if I'm ever cruising in the Capri, I can do that. Ah, shucks. Something to be said about a 302 having glass pack mufflers. Oh, okay, that was weird. I saw a comment about the 255, which you can bash on the 255 all you want. I don't really care. This is such a terrible engine. But that was a, she might just be behind. 10mm? Why are you using 10mm? You have an old American car. Come on, man. But you know something that's amazing, and it makes 0 sense. So, okay, this car will jump around when it comes to the oil pressure if you're parked. Like, if you're parked and in gear, the oil pressure will drop in this car. And it's not just the gauge, it's actually dropping. So, but, you know, interestingly enough, though, it starts up every time and it's fine. Because you can physically hear the tone of the engine change. Which is bad. Hoisted up because of their blocks? See, I didn't even know that. But I know, like, as soon as this thing blows up, he is going to swap it, right? He will swap this thing to the 302 because he's still got 5 or 6 lying around. So, it's just a matter of time before he actually does that. But And actually, you guys will get to see a full walk around of this thing once I fill it up for gas here. Well, not a full walk around, but you'll see a little bit of it. But what's interesting about this thing too is that the thing gushes oil out of the timing chain cover, the timing cover. But oil never goes down in the dipstick. It's bizarre. Like, you never have to top it up for oil, which makes no sense considering how much is leaking. Just boggles the mind. But, yeah. Hey, no worries. I might not be long on here anyways, so, like, fairly soon, I'll be logging off here, so. It actually is, because you can, he has physically measured what's in the oil pan compared to that, and it has been accurate, so. But it's just weird. Now let's see, is this Shell, well, it's not even cheap gas, it's just, is it going to be cheaper? No, it's $1.61. Damn it. Like, I do have a little jug of oil in this thing if I need to fill it up, but... Oh, that's cool. Gotta love a notchback stick 302 car. That's always nice. Well, 415. Jeez. So yeah, that's pricey for fuel. Although here it's gonna be about the same, or pretty close to it anyways. There we go. So yeah, once I start filling for fuel, I'll kind of do the walk around of this thing, so... Oh yeah, that's right, you're not going to hear me through that. Then I go do that. There we go, so you can actually hear me through that, so yeah. Although I should, actually... do that. I just need to find a couple cards here. That one, and that's the one I need. And all right, I shall be right back. There we go. So, yeah, hopefully I didn't miss anything here. Let me just double check. It does, yeah. Okay, see, clearly you're behind on the chat. But, yeah, here is, so this is the Capri I'm currently driving. With a 255 V8. Got the awesome dual exhaust back here. Now, it doesn't actually have anything Edelbrock in it. He just keeps putting these Edelbrock stickers on it, which is too funny. But like I mentioned with that, the GT spoiler on here, so this did come off the parts car Mustang that we pulled out of the field there. That was just rusty as all hell. But in something else that we did the other day, well, actually this was him, not me, to be fair. Mounted, this is the best scoop that the Fox body ever came with. This is the Capri RS scoop, and I just love it. And you can make these functional if you want to, so it actually gets cold air in there, but, you know. And plus, I think it's one of the better looking Fox bodies too. But, yeah, so it's a cool car. Okay, it took 34 liters, which I figured it would take around that. No, I do not need that. So yeah, but this is the car, and these wheels on it are, well, they're just hubcaps, but they are my wheels actually, my winter tires, so these are the ones that I use in the winter time. So I just put them on here for now, because I'll be borrowing this for a little while. There we go. There we go. So it wasn't too bad. Whoa, why is it? It shouldn't be playing any music right now. Phone, stop that. I'm live on YouTube. I don't need you to be playing Disturb, even though that's badass. There we go. So yeah, I'm just in Red Deer right now, and on my way back home. I just wanted to top off a fuel here, and then I shall find my way. But actually, I might just end it actually, because kind of want to listen to music and stuff like that, and there's not a lot going on in the chat, so I definitely appreciate everybody watching for as long as you have. You know, got to over an hour, so that's pretty good. Anyways, go check out Novitaz's live stream at 9 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Pacific. I might be there. We'll have to see, because again, I'm a little busy tonight, so we shall see. But anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you later.